Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So today the question is, how are we seen as a couple? So I'm thinking that you're in a romantic relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, or even boyfriend and boyfriend, it doesn't matter. But equally, if you're thinking of a work relationship, you can adapt what I'm saying to any kind of relationship that you have with another person. Just be warned that I'm thinking that you're in a romantic relationship, like a marriage or going out type situation. So yeah, remember that this is a general reading and that it's not going to resonate completely with everyone. You just have to take what makes sense and leave the rest aside. It is for entertainment purposes only. So we have option 1, 2 and 3. I will put the timestamps in the comment section and in the description box. You will also find everything else that you will need in the description box, so have a look there. So I want you to now close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and when you feel ready and relaxed, think, how are we seen as a couple by others? How are we seen as a couple? And when you feel the need to, make your choice. 1, 2 or 3. If you need a little bit more time to do that, then please press pause, because I'm now moving on to the readings. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. So this is the combined energies of the two of you. It's not you as two individuals. This is like when you're out together and people know of you in a partnership as a couple, how they perceive you as a couple. So we have Vulcan, inventiveness, Puck, fear, Valkyrie's redemption. Is this all going to fit on? Maybe if I just try and... It's a bit better, isn't it? Mildly. Just about squeak it all on. And Gaia, creation. So as a couple, everyone around you, your friends, family, strangers that just come across you, how do they see you? They see you actually as really inventive and unique, original. That when something comes up in your relationship or in your lives, that you both work out a solution, that you're inventive. You might actually be quite crafty people, so maybe you have a shared hobby that involves you making things, or that you always seem to be really constructive in your life with, you know, like if something breaks at home, you'll just fix it, or you'll come up with an interesting way of fixing it. It can really represent practical skills. But yeah, I think that they see you as somebody that's just inventive, unique, original, have different thoughts, that you seem to be doing something interesting, I would say. They don't find you frightening, but I think they see you as a couple that are fearless. I don't think that you fear things, or, you know, because of the other qualities. I mean, there might be an element that that people sense that you're both committed to this relationship and are, in a sense, fearful that it could end on you. You know, because our Puck is the god that would haunt the Aztecs in the night. You know, he'd hunt them down. He wasn't somebody that just suddenly jump out at you and get you. You know, he would see you in the streets and he'd haunt you. You know, he'd hunt you down and follow you. So there's a sense there that there's this sort of slow underlying current, maybe, that you're worried about that this relationship could end because you value it so much. But I don't think that's really generally. I do get the feeling that there's this sense of that you're fearless, that you're not going to live in fear and hide in the dark shadows. Some of you might be the nocturnal types that don't like to go out. You like to stay in and share your own company, that you prefer to stay in and watch Netflix or something, or do your own thing. So some of you might see you as a bit, you know, because people wouldn't go out at night because they were scared of coming across this god in ancient Aztec era. Redemption. I just feel actually that for the two of you, or at least for one of you maybe, I know this isn't about you as individuals, but this is like a second chance. Valkyrie's represented redemption, that at the end of a battle they would come and take the fallen warriors up to Valhalla. So it's a sense that this relationship wasn't expected, that maybe one of you have been single for a long time, or you both have been single and finally you found each other, and this is a sense of why you're thinking, oh no, I don't, I'm a bit frightened that I might lose this person because it's all so good. But yeah, that something maybe it just wasn't expected, because it was sort of like a really old-fashioned phrase, like they were on the shelf. She or he was on the shelf. Well, it's always a she that was on the shelf. It was never a man. But there is a sense that in this couple that they never expected it to happen, other people, that this is a redemption. So, or for others, that maybe that you're better people in this relationship than when you are divided, and this is why, in a sense, there's this fear, that element that comes through of that you're better together than apart. Maybe some of you or your partner has engaged in self-destructive behaviour or something, and now that you're together, that's gone. So they see this as very much going from a bad dead-end situation to a better place. And there's also Gaia, which is creation. Gaia, Mother Earth. They see this as an abundant creative connection. Gaia is Mother Earth, so maybe some you have children. But overall, I think that people look at you as a couple and think, what a creative couple. So maybe, as I said, this inventiveness and this sense of innovation and unique, problem-solving skills is actually within it. You're really, really creative. So you might dress differently. You might be a sort of a couple that have a unique sense of style. And that can also be within the home, in this sense of you're on the cutting edge of fashionable homes, and that you're very good at doing things within the home, like carpentry or making, doing your own work on the house to make it unique. But yeah, you're definitely seen as a creative couple. That's sort of like that you're both maybe artists, or this sense of abundance, that you create the life that you want, that you create the goodness in your life, you create the happiness and the satisfaction and the fulfillment. So I think that you are seen as a great couple, that this sense of redemption is that this is a second chance relationship, or at least a relationship that wasn't thought a few years ago to exist, but that is overall a very abundant and creative, inventive one. And although fear stands out for that, I really do feel that there's this element that they see you as a couple that either appreciate your alone time or appreciate each other enough that there's a sort of hint of fear that you might lose the other person. So be wary of that. You don't want to end up being self-destructive and strangling a really great relationship through your fear of failure or fear of loss. So yeah, be careful about that. Stick to those three and try and leave the fear behind as much as possible. So those of you that chose option 1, that's how others see your relationship with your loved one. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself and your partner, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Hello, those of you that chose option 2. This is your reading. So how do others see you as a couple? So this is the combined energies of the two of you and the entity that you represent to those around you, loved ones, friends, family, all the rest of it. It's not you two as an individual, as individuals, although I might sort of surmise an individual, something from the cards about you being individuals. So how do people see you? Jade, Emperor, organisation. Well, they see you as organised. Poseidon, flow. That's interesting. That you yet flow. Lakshmi. Yeah, I think I've said that right. Apologies if I pronounced it incorrectly. Prosperity. That's so nice to see. Persephone, cycles. So you're definitely seen as a couple that work well together, that you're organised, that you understand your roles within this relationship, that you've worked it out, who's doing what, and you're happy with that. You've divided the tasks equally. So you know, chores around the house. Somebody knows who's, you know, it's your turn to put the bins out, and it's, you know, fine, it's my turn to put the bins out, I'll do that. You're just organised, and you fit well together, and you work well together, and it's in a sense of peace and harmony. It's just organised. And this is really important because this is what's allowing the flow through in the relationship. Poseidon, flow, is the sea god, ancient Greek mythology. So you actually flow through your life with ease and abundance and prosperity, which obviously we're going to have here, but you know, the seas are full of life and abundance. And you find that flow, and that you find things easy, and I suspect you don't argue much in your relationship because you've already sort of locked down who's doing what, whose responsibilities what, whose turn is it this week or next week, or this awareness that maybe one person's been pulling their weight in order to give you a bit of a break, and now it's your turn to take on a bit more work, or to support them in some way. And it just allows the positive flow of your life through in a relaxing way. So rather than being torn and crashed up against the tide, against the rocks, you flow in the sea, flow. And this is good. So I think you seem as quite a fairly chilled, relaxed couple who, understand each other and understand what needs to be done. And prosperity, you just prosperous. I think, you know, they're a match. So I think that you are seen as a very clear match that suit each other, that you are abundant and wealthy. You know, that can be financially, that some of you have money to spend, but if you haven't, they see you as a couple that really love each other and support each other and complement each other, and therefore you are abundant and prosperous in all the really important things in life, which is love, friendship, happiness, sustainability, you know, support, that you can sustain each other and nurture each other. And people really see that. And this is linked in a way to Poseidon, Persephone, which is cycles, which is the natural cycles of life. It's that things change. They see you as an abundant, alive couple that are growing and changing with each other. So this is where it can be an independent change, where you as an individual are going through some sort of process of change, but your partner complements you. I cannot for the life of me remember who the blue god is in the Indian god pantheon, but they're obviously a match. They've both got two arms. You're a match. You're going through life on the same lines. So you might have your own individual journey path, life path. They're parallel to each other, so you're going along together. So that I think that people see you as a couple that will go the long distance, that you have gone through changes together, and you will carry on, and that you will carry on growing and moving through the cycles of life, from being teenagers to in your 20s to in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and hopefully 80s and 90s. I think they definitely see you as a couple that are easygoing, flowing, moving through life, meeting the challenges that life brings, and sticking together in this prosperity of spirit and heart and soul. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful to see. You sound like you've got a lovely relationship. So those of you that chose option 2, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself and your partner, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, this is your reading. How do other people see you as a couple? So this is not you as individuals, this is your combined energies together, whatever your relationship is. So we've got Apollo, inquiry, Nuada, perfection, Amaterasu, self-esteem, and Kali, fear. This is nice. This is a nice reading. People see you as a very curious couple that are really keen to find out more. Apollo is the sun god, so I think you possibly both get attention, or at least shine in you know, in this sense of inquiry, of curiosity about, you know, you could be very interested in traveling in the world, or at least what's going on in the world. You're the kind of couple that say hi, you know, and ask questions, how are you doing, or what, you know, how are you today, and all the rest of it. You're not isolated at all. You're very outgoing as a couple and willing to socialize and be seen, and to, yeah, just find out, get out there in the world and see what's going on, in curiosity about anything, really. Constantly learning. Noada, perfection. Well, of course you're seen as a perfect couple, but seriously, Noada is about recognizing that not, you know, perfection is a personal opinion. Nothing is perfect and everything is perfect. It just depends on who's looking at it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And about in a sense of renewal, because if you've seen my other videos, you'll recognise this story that Noada was an Irish king, and once the ancient Irish kings had any kind of physical injury, they could no longer be king, because it was seen that you must be physically perfect in order to protect the kingdom. So if you lost an eye, that's it, you weren't king anymore. Well, he lost his arm, but his brother the silversmith made him another arm so that he could still go out into battle and fight. So in a sense, I think that this relationship is seen as one that triumphs over the odds. You know, it's almost against survival, against everybody's expectations. So that maybe for a lot of you, they thought that you would break up, that you're a mismatched couple. Maybe you've got two completely different life experiences, an age gap, or just a mismatched couple of like, well, I never would have put him with her. That's interesting. You know, that kind of thing. But it works. Like for Noada, it shouldn't be that his silver arm would work, but it does. And it just happens. So yeah, it's about this idea that for you together, you feel like each other are perfect. But for other people, they would be like, nah, I wouldn't have put them together. But it doesn't matter. You're happy with each other. And they see you as a couple that are confident, that you have self-esteem, that you understand, both of you understand your own worth. Whether that's because you nurture that in each other, like that you support their self-esteem and they do for you. You know, it's about Amaterasu, you know, suffered a blow. Her brother destroyed her life's work and she felt so demoralised. She went and hid in a cave, but everybody, excuse me, came out and said, no, come back out, come out. And they sang and they danced, and eventually, because she realised how much she was loved and valued, she came out and danced with them, and they were all happy together. So, and that's the self-esteem, the sense of self-worth. And so I think when people look at you as a couple, they think, yeah, they have self-worth, they value each other, they want each other in their lives and make each other happy and prove to the other person their worth. So you feel loved and treasured and appreciated by your partner, and vice versa. And that's good, that's really important. Fear. Isn't that interesting? They're all frightened of you. No, they're not. Kali, this is about conquering fear. So I think, remember I said I felt that in a way there was a sort of sense of being mismatched. Not in a dramatic way, but that there was something about you that sort of goes out of the traditional perception of a couple. It's almost that because you're a couple, that you know, and it's not seen and it's sort of not socially acceptable, I don't mean that, but you know that there's something different about you as a couple. It's that you overcome any fears by it. You know, you don't let the differences stop you. You come together and find happiness within each other. So if there's anything negative to be connected with your partnership, your relationship, you don't let it stop you. You overcome this fear. You know, it's almost that something rears its ugly head, but you're like, no, we're not going to let that stop us. You know, you could be both quite fierce about this sense of being together, that you've had to fight to be together, or that you not necessarily fight, but just that there's been some sort of opposition, so you've had to resist it. But yeah, there's just this sense that you're just not going to let what other people would be put off by this relationship. This is what I'm trying to say. Other people would be put off by being with the other person because of this difference, this sense of overcoming. But it hasn't for you. You two have been fearless about it and said, no, I love them and I want to be with them. And it doesn't matter that there's an age gap or a vast religious difference or cultural difference or something that could make it awkward. You make it work. Or a long distance relationship, maybe. You make it work, and that's why they think that you're fearless. There you go. I got there in the end. Yeah, I think this sounds like a lovely... I mean, I have to say all three of these readings have been wonderful. But this is a really lovely relationship because you love, support and nurture each other. And I think see each other for how you really are and what happiness you can bring to each other rather than how other people perceive you. And that is very, very important and should be maintained and nurtured. So those of you that chose option 3, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself and your partner. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye.